evening and welcome to the BBC News at 6. The UK economy has picked up the pace, with growth up 0.7% in the 3 months to June, helped by a big jump in oil and gas production. Gross domestic product, the value of all the UK's goods and services, has now got back to its peak before the recession in 2008. But some experts are questioning whether the growth is creating an imbalance in the economy and whether interest rates are likely to go up sooner than expected. Our industry correspondent John Moylan reports.
The economy is on the move, like this plastics company in Derbyshire. It makes windows and doors. In recent years, it's doubled staff and sales. It's also reversed the pay cuts that helped it survive through the recession.
The economy's improved for us. Most of what we make is into house refurbishment or double glazing. So from going back 4 or 5 years ago, the market was really awful. But now it's really picking up.
In the 3 months to June, the economy grew by 0.7%, much stronger than the 0.4% seen earlier in the year. But manufacturing fell by 0.3% and construction was flat. So it was services, the biggest part of the economy, that pushed growth higher. North Sea production also helped, boosted by tax breaks. And it means economic output per head of population, a key indicator of prosperity, is back at pre-recession levels. For the Chancellor, it was more evidence that the economy is moving up a gear.
Well, I think these figures show that Britain is motoring ahead, with our economy producing as much per person as ever before. But there are clear risks outside in the world economy, from the Eurozone to what's happening in the world stock market. So we've got to stay on the road that we've set out on.
I think that the Chancellor needs to focus much more on getting healthier growth than this if we're going to withstand some of those international pressures from China, from Europe. A balanced recovery would be one that also focuses on construction, which remains flat, and manufacturing, which is going backwards.
Earlier this year, the economy was stuck in slow motion, performing under par. But now growth is speeding up, thanks to service industries, everything from hotels to restaurants, business services to finance. And it's all leading to speculation about when an interest rate rise will come.
The Governor of the Bank of England told us that he expects rates to start rising at the turn of the year, and the figures that we have today point at a potential rise towards February, with the economy being sufficiently resilient potentially to sustain such an initial mild increase.
With a rate rise coming, sterling rose against most currencies today. That won't help firms that export. Britain's economy is far from perfect, but overall, growth is back on track.
So, John, what about interest rates then? Is this growth going to see us heading for a rise sooner rather than later?
Well, we know a rise is on the horizon, and that will be a really big moment for millions of people. Very important for many householders who will face higher mortgage payments. Very important too for many savers who have been stuck with low interest rates for a long, long time. And the Governor of the Bank of England has indicated that the key decision will come towards the turn of the year. Now, the exact timings will depend on economic growth, and we know now that growth is certainly picking up. It will depend on wages, and again, wage growth has been picking up. And it will depend on what's happening with inflation. Inflation is really low at the moment, but it's forecast to grow in the months ahead. Now, today's number, I don't think it's accelerated when we would expect an interest rate rise to come. The consensus is for an interest rate rise sometime in the first quarter of next year. And when it comes, I think it's probably going to be modest in size, and the expectation is that any further rises would be spread out over a period of months and years in a fairly gradual nature.
OK, John, thank you very much.